Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Um, Good evening and welcome to WWS Daily Live Show. My name is Clara Chizoba. Today's show is going to be taking a different turn other than entertainment. We are going to be talking really very personal, really very deep, really something that affects a lot of life as well. But it's certainly important as it affects people's everyday lifestyle. So the flood disaster in Nigeria is really a heartbreaking one. Many have been affected in many ways. According to UNICEF, 2.5 million people needs humanitarian services. 60% of people affected are children. 34 states affected, with Anambra state being the most affected part. 1.3 million people displaced, over 600 deaths reported, 200,000 houses damaged, and about 7,483 affected by waterborne diseases and cholera. So this number is increasing as we speak because a lot of people have been affected by airborne disease, waterborne disease, and it's really something really heartbreaking. So the question here is, could these have been prevented? What's the cause of the flood? Who is responsible? What is being done to prevent it from happening again? And what is being done currently to help the affected state communities and the persons? So I certainly do not have all the answers, um, which is absolutely why I invited a woman who have taken it upon herself to use her platform to advocate and assist as many victims as possible. And also, we have an open WhatsApp call today. So you are welcome to call in if you are to contribute, to make suggestions, and as well use your voice. I think this way it goes a long way. So please call the number zero plus 34650537822. The number is plus 34650537822. So now I have Blessing on Zoom call on the other side of the system. So hi Blessing, welcome to the show.
Hello.
Hi,
Good
welcome.
evening.
We can hear you very well.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening. So I've been seeing your posts recently using your platform to actually talk about this, but why is it important for you to advocate for help for the victims of this disaster?
I feel like, aside from the fact that I am human and what is going on is actually a sad situation, it's our country, and like, as a human being, whether it happens in our country or in another country, a situation like this is something that anyone with, like, any human would sympathize with. But I feel like why it's more special to me is the fact that I actually have families who are victims.
Oh, oh, okay. In what sense, please? I remember you mentioned about your grandmother.
Yes, my grandmother was a victim. My grandmother's house got flooded. Like, currently, as I'm speaking to you, she has fled to another village
Oh,
last week. And she's in a village whereby they are not even sure if the flood is heading there or not.
oh my
So
God.
she's not even in a safe situation yet. And there's not much that can be done about this because the roads are blocked heading to Lagos.
Oh my God. So what do you think that, okay, let me start from the beginning. Could this have been prevented in your opinion?
Okay. So I really don't know so much about the reason why this happened,
Right,
like, on a personal note.
right,
But what I've gathered from, like, reading online with the news is that Nigeria was supposed to build a dam,
right.
just like Cameroon did, to prevent this. So I think, yes, it can be prevented. And another thing I'm going to just put in is that my mother actually told me, because my mother grew up in the same village that my grandmother lives currently.
Right.
My mother told me that all our years growing up in the village, this flood has been happening. So this is not something that started last week or last month.
It's like
This
it's
is
been a
something that actually,
repeated incident.
yes, it has
Yes.
been happening for years. So I don't know if you've heard about it as well.
I have.
But I was very, very shocked that it has been happening for years. And actually, the worst one that happened last was in 2012.
Right.
And this is the second worst one. So in 2012, people had died already. I just feel like if we have a responsible government, that was the time to actually take action.
Yes. Well, you are right. Absolutely. Your mother actually is right. And what you read is accurate because it's a reoccurring disaster which could have been prevented by the government. Again, this is not a call for action. I mean, this is not a call to kind of distract anybody or any political person, but it's more like what can we do to prevent a situation like this and at the same time really help the people who are victims. We're talking about that. What do you think, for example, in prevention, in your opinion, generally, before we even get to the victim, what do you think we as in the government, could do to prevent this particular situation happening, reoccurring again in the next 10 years?
Honestly, to be very sincere, I really don't know so much about this old dam situation.
Yeah.
But I feel like if it's preventing flood in Cameroon,
Yeah.
we could also use it to prevent floods. So aside from opening a dam or creating a dam and building one to say, and creating the right drainage system like everywhere in the country. This is another problem that we have in Nigeria. The drainage system is not really good. Aside from this, I don't know any other way that this can be prevented.
I think you've made a good point. It just takes a common sense to know that a good drainage really helps any country, any city, anytime, and is a very good input. So we talked about victims, and you mentioned that your grandmother is a victim to this disaster. So currently, what are you yourself doing to assist your grandmother? Obviously, you can, but what do you think other people can also do in this situation?
I mean, I feel like my grandma is sorted out.
Oh, yeah.
I feel for a lot of people during this time who do not have someone who can financially help them. To be very honest, to put it plain and simple, aside from sympathy, which is something that is needed from us as human beings, people really need financial help. Like, these are people that I'm just going to keep using my own village as an example because my mother is from this village, my father is from this village. So I know it well enough because I spent so many holidays there.
Where is the village you're mentioning?
So my mother and my father, they are from Okwe, Isoko.
Okay.
Which is like very close to Ole. So growing up from Lagos, we go on vacation in Ole and Okwe. So Ole is like a very big city in Delta states, like Ugeli. Ugeli is another big city in Delta states that everybody knows, like a big village. Basically, it's a village, but it's more like a city because it's like more exposed and like compared to other smaller villages. This is where a lot of businesses go on and everything. So this like when I use Okwe as an example, my father has a house there as well as Ule. So using Okwe as an example and couple of other villages suffering during this time. Now it's not only villages that are suffering. Like I see a lot of like there's so many states suffering during this time. But I'm just gonna speak on where I personally like I've been and I have like very good touch with. So like in my village, since like I was born, there's never been electricity for one day. So I feel like these are communities. I mean, I know now the flood has affected a lot of community. The rich, the poor, everyone is affected at this point.
Exactly.
People's businesses, farms, like people's home, it's affecting like a lot of people during this time. But it's so sad that people already don't have basic amenities that would make us as human beings comfortable.
Yeah.
People like my grandma, I saw her in February and I wanted her to like live in Lagos permanently with my mother. And she doesn't want, like, she has no business actually living in the village. But if you know elderly people, especially people who lived in the village all their life, when they're elderly, they want to be close to home.
Exactly.
If you understand what I mean. So
yes.
My grandma, like, even if like she came to Lagos, she's living in a comfortable house with electricity, with everything that makes a human being comfortable. But she loved her home so much, which is the village. So these are people that they love their home. They love going to the farm. They are not asking too much from the government. They're not asking for 24 hours electricity. They're not asking for good roads. Like, they lack so many things, but they are just happy living the best way they can. So this happening to them really breaks my heart.
It does.
Like, it breaks my heart so much. So the first thing we did for my grandma was we had to get a boat. And like, even with your money,
right?
A boat, yes. Like, we rented a boat.
Okay.
Even with your money during this time, like, even with money. Now, some people don't even have money to flee. But now, even with money, securing a boat is really, really difficult. Wow. We had to get a boat to fly her to, like, to take her to another village where we have family, like my mother's sister. So she's safe there for now. So what have I been doing for other victims? I have been able to have some donations from friends, from close friends.
Yes. So when you get these donations, what do you do with them?
I never share my account number with them. Obviously. I see couple of community leaders in Delta states. I see them on Facebook. I see them on Instagram. They are like providing food on the streets. They are going to villages with flood. They're trying to help people. Yeah. So I share this account number with them to be able to support with food, because people are really, really going through it right now. And I feel like, as human beings, the two most important thing is food and shelter.
And this has been taken away because a lot of farmers have been affected at the currently.
Their farms are flooded,
exactly.
So they don't have food.
Exactly. Well, I remember you were able to get in touch with Olivia, who lives in Port Harcourt. So we're gonna put a call through to Olivia and see, and she's a victim, or rather, her family is also a victim to this. I'll put a call through and see what how her experience have been, and if there are ways that she's been able to get some help from anybody or the government.
Okay.
Yes. I think, let's see. It's ringing. Hello, Olivia. Good evening. My name is Clara Cromberg from. Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening, Olivia. My name is Clara Cromberg from WWS TV. I have a question for you regarding the flood that your parents have experienced back in Delta State. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, everybody can hear you, and please, can you, in your own words, describe what the experience of your parents have been so far?
Describing the experience. We experienced the one of the 2012 flood. We experienced it also. I just wrote my wife then. But from what I've seen so far, this one is worse than 2012 times 100.
Wow. Wow. So where are your parents currently? Because from the video I received coming from you, I understand that your family as in some of their things, you have to use something to lift it up for the water not to get
Yes,
to their things.
and
Are they
then
still
we have
living in
and then we
there?
have to live again.
Wow. So they left already. They're no longer
Because they
there.
are not in the house.
Okay.
Ma?
So where are they at the moment?
They are in another village
Hmm. Wow.
close to the town they were staying. That village, the people surrounded by water also. But the water did not get to the village, but the water surrounded the village.
Okay. So what
So
are
they
you
are
doing
just
currently to see if you can assist your parents?
I'm still struggling. I'm a graduate that is not working, so I'm still struggling. But in my little ways, I'm still trying to see if I can send something across to them. Because personally, I cannot go to Delta State because of the same fraud that affected the road.
Right.
So if I am to go to Delta State, I will have to go through another long journey, and it's also risky. The transport too is, because normally from where I am now to Delta State is 3,000. Then now because of the road is bad. You will have to get us to some place and swim over. Some places you will enter boat. Because of that, people that pass through the road, they said it was 12,000.
Well,
So I don't
it, it's really a very difficult situation. I understand, Olivia. But in your own opinion, how do you think that the government can come in play in this to assist you and other people that are also victims that does not have means of assisting their family like yourself?
Congratulations on a good. Talking about the government, there are several ways that are come in assisting the citizen. Although this flood is a natural disaster,
Exactly.
but then they can come in a way to make it easier for the citizen by providing the daily things for them. The issue now will not even, the main issue will not even be the flood. It's the after effect of the flood. It will come with hunger. It will come with different types of sicknesses for children, for old people, and even for the adults. So they should come with the daily things, medical stuff, if possible, food stuff. Not just abandoning the citizen like that as if we are not human beings.
That's right, Olivia. You said it very well. Currently, the rate and the number of people that have been affected with cholera is really on the rise. I mean, the waterborne disease. I hope your family are not in this situation as well, are they?
No, when I
Thank
talked to
them.
my parents this morning, because I try my best to call them every day, they said they are okay. The only issue they have is, I think probably is hunger, but I think they are okay. I don't know if they are lying not to make me feel better, but they said they are okay, they are not sick.
Of course, parents will always try to protect the interest of their children, but I truly feel for them and I feel for you as well. If you are to solicit for assistance from anyone right now who might in later on replay or watch this, what would be your request?
If there's anything, is to send food stuff across and probably be there for them if possible financially, because right now they no longer do because of the flood, no business again, nothing. So they are dependent on people that can provide for them for now. See, probably the ones are dried off because my mom sells palm oil. So even with the issue of grant, the house they left, things entered and some of the things she's selling.
Yeah.
So that is a debt that she will pay when this water go back. When this flood issue is over now, that is a debt that she will have to face.
Thank you so much, Olivia. It's really very nice of you to make this. I think it's important for people to hear from victims as well. And we will reach out to you if any assistance reach us as soon as possible.
This is a DI.
Yes, thank you so much. Have a very lovely evening. I'll keep in touch. Thank you. Bye.
Okay.
Blessing, did you
Yes,
yeah.
I get everything she said. Like I mentioned to you before, like the case of my grandmother, we also wanted her to come to Lagos. The road is totally blocked, destroyed. Like you can't take a bus and go straight to anywhere right now. So everything she said makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
Like I mentioned, hunger would be the biggest thing that will come out of this flood.
Yes.
Like it's really, really sad.
Well, the UNICEF and World Health Organization, a lot of organizations that are around the world are really, I believe, paying attention, really doing what they can at the moment. But I know that as individuals, we can do more. So, what would be your advice to anyone who would like to contribute or be part of this, in their own little way? How can we contribute to it?
Honestly, as a human being, it's a very difficult situation.
Yeah.
If you can help in any way
Even if it's one
financially
person.
in this situation, nothing is too little for anyone right now who is going through this. If you can help financially in any way, do it any means by providing health supplies. There are children who are currently sick, children who are hungry. Like financially is a way one can help. And if you don't want to help financially or you're not capable to do it during this time, it's okay. You can help by creating awareness.
Awareness, exactly.
By creating awareness online, like in discussions, in any way. And I feel like as Nigerians, like now this is directed to Nigerians, like citizens, the biggest way you can help, the biggest way we can actually help ourselves and learn from this situation is that please, everyone, vote.
Yeah.
We have to vote. We have to vote good leaders so this would not repeat itself.
That's right. That's right. That's
I
right.
feel like voting is number one on the list.
Yeah.
Because it would actually prevent this from happening. Because these people, I mean, they might not live the most luxury life, but they could provide their daily means of survival. They could provide food for themselves, for their children. Now they cannot do any of these anymore.
Yeah.
They're even trying to find financial support to flee to another village to be safe.
You said it all. You said it all. I think also the country is massive. We're over 2 million, 2 million in population in Nigeria. And honestly, at the moment, the problem is that I think most of our country people, when situation arise, we focus and start watching unnecessary things or start being distracted by things that we shouldn't be distracted by online and really neglect the main issue. And you just see nobody is saying so much. I don't see this in most of the big influencers that you have, and we have lots of them who are top influencers in the country. So why are we not talking enough? Like you said, even if it's not a financial support, we might not really depend on the government. We shouldn't depend on the government, but they should do their job. But regardless, we have individuals that are really on the top already, that should use their platforms. Thank God for social media today. We can use our platforms in so many ways to create awareness, like you mentioned. Awareness,
Yeah, because
awareness.
is making a lot of international organizations get involved.
Exactly.
Like the news carrying it. Like aside from even like social media influencers like that,
Yeah.
the news alone is how these international organizations they got aware of this. So anyway, we can all create awareness on Facebook, on Instagram, on any platform.
Yes.
It's needed right now. Talk about it in church. Like it doesn't even have to be
Everywhere.
online. It could be it could be in person. We just need to contribute one way or the other to urge the government to do something about the situation.
Yes. Yes. No, we can do better. Absolutely. Thank you so much for this. I have someone else online who is also a victim. His name is Paul Mike in Anambra State, which is actually one of the states in Nigeria that is highly affected at the moment. So I am going to put call across Paul to see if he's gonna pick up. he has really, him and his family also are on the flee, and they are looking for a shelter because some people have where to run to, but I don't think Paul is one of those. So we are going to put, I'm on putting call across to see if he's gonna pick it up. Okay, nothing is happening. Well,
This is a
Well, while we wait for Paul to join us, I think that really blessing. Thank you so much. You've used the platform, you've used your voice in the way we should. Like you mentioned, all of us can do one or two things. It can be financially, it can be just by using our voice, it can be by contributing, by making conversation, creating conversation, and creating awareness. The call did not go through, but we can actually do a lot better than just waiting for the government, in as much as they should do their work. So I am putting a call to an organization called Nicholas Motivate, and they have intention to contribute to how we can, improve in this situation. Hello, Nicholas Motives. Hello.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening. My name is Clara Cromwell, calling from WWS TV. I'm calling in regards to the current flood situation in Nigeria. And I understand that your organization is in work to contribute to assist the victims. In your words, how have you been doing that, and how can we contribute or continue to do that?
Okay, thank you for for having me.
Thank you. Welcome.
Um, if you have a look on our platform, you would get to see just this Saturday that was past. We were at one of the IDP camps
Right.
in Kuchingoro, New Kuchingoro IDP camp.
Please, where is Kuchingoro for people? Which state is it for people who don't know?
New Kuchingoro IDP camp is in Abuja.
Right. Okay.
And the victims, basically the victims from Kogi, Cotton Kefi, likes of Ibaji,
Right.
were the camps to the IDP camp in New Kuchingoro.
Okay.
Because as of the last we checked, they haven't yet gotten a stationed IDP camp.
Wow. So when they get to the camp, these people that are in the camp, when they get there, what actually happens in the camp? How is the camp like?
Okay. Now, first and first, like to the best of our knowledge, there are almost an existing IDP camp in every affected state as it stands now.
Right.
So the government has been able to have established an IDP camp where the affected victims who lost shelter are being transported to these IDP camps. So what the government does is the government ends up putting up tents in thousands in the IDP camps.
Right.
Then provision for shelter like mattresses are being made, and in most cases they don't come as adequate as to the required numbers. So a lot of persons end up not even having where to lay their head. Now, thank God, a lot of organizations like us, like when we were at Kuchingoro, a missionary church also was at the IDP camp.
Right.
They bought mattresses, they bought food, they bought clothes, and all of that. So, to start from, the government is trying to curtail the unforetold crisis, as it were. But truth is, they haven't given in enough effort to it. And thank God also for organizations, for individuals who tend to support these organizations and also big thumbs up to organizations for living their truth, for also contributing their quota to these victims.
Yes,
Now,
exactly.
today,
Exactly.
so
Thank
today, I
you. I
think,
mean, thanks to your organization like yours, Nicholas Motives, for your contribution.
so I was going to say,
Right.
I was going to say, like if you had a look on our platform, you were going to see the last documentary video we had
Mm-hmm.
was from the outreach we had on Saturday from the IDP camp in Kujiguru, and it was crazy. It was crazy
In
in
what
the
sense?
we went. Yeah, now we went there with about 102 cartons of sanitary pads and some extra kits like pints and all of that.
Right.
Do you know, at the verge of sensitizing these girls, because we tend to sensitize before we tend to give out the product. If you watch the video, you're going to see that these women and these girls dragged like it was like they like it was so chaotic.
Right.
Like the vulnerability is really, really so disheartening.
Okay.
Like these aids were dragged. Now, this is what I want you to know now. Now, we went all out to even wanting to have a conversation with one or two displaced persons in the IDP camp. Do you know what they said?
No.
They were like saying they've been displaced in the camp. That a lot of aids has been sent to the IDP camp officials. Now, what this IDP camp officials does is they siphoned these things that are brought into the camp.
No.
They siphon them and sell it for their personal use.
Okay.
So that they are indulging organizations like ours that if any organization want to give aid, want to give help, they should come in person and disburse this aid themselves to them in the camp.
This is a difficult one because now individuals won't know who to actually reach out to for assistance in situations like this. So what are you, for example, what is your organization doing to make sure that your name don't get tarnished in the line of this?
So now, what we do is as an organization, right? Now, it is only optimally structured that a team is being laid out there, and as a team, every person in the team is designated to a particular task. Now, we have a program manager. Now, if we are to now we are trusting God before the fall of before the first week of next month also to reach out to Ibaji community and in Kogi State and to Tonto community in Nasarawa State. Now, as we are planning to reach out to these persons, now the program manager right now is situated to reach out to contact the IDP camp.
Right.
Now he is given a stipend to go to this IDP camp himself, make a survey, get to know the number of vulnerable beneficiaries that are on ground. Then we get to know how many beneficiaries we are planning to reach out to. I don't know if you get it.
I understand.
Like if as an organization you just stand up without any evaluation, any validation, any justification or modification, and you just walk into an IDP camp, right? Now you might end up walking to the wrong end.
Right.
Now these persons are not even women. They are trivializing the ugly ill situation and
for personal.
these people.
And
And we can't even imagine it. Now if you watch the video, you're gonna we gave a room for that part to play out where that woman, a particular woman, like a mother, she was so pained, seeing how oil was brought in, how foams was brought in, and they were given to the officials on the IDP camp, and these persons ended up selling them that till today. They haven't seen the aids that came.
Oh. That's really sad, Nicola. That's really very sad to hear. Can you please hold on? Blessing, did you hear that?
Yes, I heard it,
So
and
how do you think this particular situation will be handled?
I am really not shocked. First of all, thank you to the person on the other line.
Yeah.
I really didn't know about these scams. I know that in a situation like this, even if our government is not the best, I know that, okay, they would provide at least some support. So I'm very impressed to hear that there is a camp
That's
for people.
impressive, yeah.
I know that it's not enough for anyone, because I can tell you, I know at least 30 people are affected and no one is in a camp. Like this major, all fled to other smaller villages. People, like officials, stealing the help, the support coming for people and selling it. I am not shocked. They did this during coronavirus.
Yes.
So I am not shocked, because I read, is it on UNICEF or United Nations? They're like, they're supporting the flood in Nigeria with $1 million. I'm like, excuse me, who is this money going to? Like, you keep taking the support.
No,
to
$1
the
million.
exact people. You are taking the support to the exact people who are the cause of the problem. This $1 million will not get to anyone. Yeah. Because I sent help across to someone, a community leader that, like, we have like a family connection with, and I saw like a video. They bought bread and indomie and they shared it in like a village. You need to see how people were rushing it. These are not people that, like, a support I've gotten to in it, like, since the beginning of this flood.
Right.
Because you can tell that they are really, really hungry.
Yeah.
So the products being sold, I'm not shocked at all, to be very honest. During coronavirus, we've seen this.
Wow. This is disheartening to hear, because then it's difficult to people actually know where the fund or the support they are giving, where it's going to end. So how are we going? I think the question actually now is, okay, the victims, we have victims and we have people willing to support, and who are we going to trust to lend this support to actually get to the victims? Are we going to go and scout out the victims ourselves? So that's the whole question here.
We can't reach all the victims ourselves.
Obviously
because
not.
Many of them don't have phones that have access to the internet.
Yeah.
So we cannot reach victims, like, unless you travel down to these villages. And we are talking about, right now we have 31 states affected. How can you, like, physically be in 31 states? So we need to trust smaller organizations, which we can see eyes, and we prove that these people are actually working.
Right. So Nicola's motive, you have your organization, and how can you be trusted? This is a question that we can ask you.
Now, I'm gonna say trust, actually.
Yeah.
Not a virtue of conviction. It is proportional to the intent of the act.
That's right.
Yeah, because you might get convinced to trust someone or to trust something, and it ends up the other way around. So if organizations should be wanted or should be eligible to be put in the line of giving out aid, I think a critical look on their antecedents and their work should speak.
Right.
Yeah, because I know couple of organizations we are working with, and couple of, like, ActionAid is doing a lot. ActionAid is doing a lot, yes. So Anifesti is doing a lot. Like, a lot of organizations are doing a lot. So now, in my kindness opinion,
yeah,
and because as it stands now, to the other speaker, right now, if in your village there is no existing IDP camp, it is like because maybe the flood has ravaged the community, that there is no available space in the community to plant an IDP camp.
You're right.
So what they do is when there is no available space in the community to plant an IDP camp, they will deploy the supposed IDP camp to the affected community to a safe space. So if you watch right now, Abuja has about almost 19 IDP camps.
Okay.
Which is spread across neighborhood states and neighborhood communities. So to give it to wanting to trust an organization. So in my best opinion, all right. So there are couple and there are series of organizations, and I just feel like a lot ends won't be needed, but a few trusted good ends will be needed.
That's right.
Where if these few trusted good ends can be contacted, and each organization could now regards to where each organization is planted, right?
Sorry,
Now,
Blessing, please, you can log back in with the code if your time goes off. You can log back in with the same code.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay,
Okay,
no, I
I'll do that.
say you'll be logged out automatically, but you can log back in with the same code I sent to you already.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sure. Okay, sorry for that, Nicholas. You can go ahead.
All right. So a particular organization can cover now, for instance, Nigeria is situated into the north, south, east, west, and the north central. That is the middle belt. Now, and in each state, maximally, there is at most 5 IDP camps. Maximally. So a particular organization could cover a poor geographical a poor geographical site per se, if not one, two. And a validation is this organization must aim to give reports on outreaches done. If possible, at the site of outreaches, this organization should go live.
Yes. Showing exactly what they are doing.
Yes. To convey what is being done. Then at the end of the outreach, the program manager now to even start from, and if an organization is not even official or is not registered, I feel such shouldn't even be trustworthy. Because if something goes wrong, you would want to write to the EFCC, you would want to write to the legal body of the country to track someone down. So if you're writing and you're
recording in progress.
Sorry?
No, just go ahead. Sorry about that.
So if you're writing and you're writing to track a particular body that is not registered in the Nigerian Corporate Affairs, like it's just like a waste.
Yeah.
So if you must engage an organization, it must be a registered non-profit organization.
You said it all.
If anything goes wrong.
Yes.
Yes, where if anything goes wrong,
they are trackable.
Body, yes, can be tracked down. Yeah.
Thank you, Nicholas. Okay. Thank you so much. Really, thank you. I mean, you've said it all because the question on ground is all about how can we assist the victims? How can individuals, people that are not, big organization, international organization come in place? In as much as we know the UNICEF, World Health Organization, and the rest of them are actually active at the moment, doing what they can to assist the country. But as individuals and small organizations, you are doing your part, and that really means a lot. So now the rise, it's been on the rise that the waterborne disease is really happening, and the number of affected people or people who have this is really on the rise. How can we control it? This is the part that it's been a long time. I mean, 10 years ago, I understand that, they've been on the rise of waterborne disease. In your own opinion, you that is in Nigeria at the moment, because the lady blessing on the other land, on the line is in Morocco, and in Nigeria, how do you think what are they doing? What are the control measures for this?
All right, now, thank you. I'm gonna say the government in this country is failed. The mechanism in this country is failed.
Mm.
Now, why am I sounding this way? Now, using Kogi as a case study, Kogi has been a victim of this flood year in, year out. Last year, Kogi recorded flood invasion. Last 2 years, Kogi recorded flood attack. Last 3 years. So
Right.
Kogi has been recording this weird and ill occurrences. Now, it was to the best of my knowledge that there has been an allocated fund to the government to contain this incident. But what they do is, how best they do, they end up funding funds. Like what Blessing said. Now, when I read into the US giving a donation of $1 million
Yes.
to the Minister of Water, we were actually somewhere and somebody said, oh my God, that this money has gone to waste.
Sad.
Because believe me, I stand to be corrected and I lie not. That money will be siphoned. These people don't care. They don't care. But thank God right now, we were at the camp and we had our conversations and we saw though, now from the Ministry of Water through the intervention of UNICEF, UNESCO, UNHCR, so engineers have been sent to this site. So we saw as about last 2 weeks there about. Now these sites were disinfected, like have been disinfected. All right. So they are being disinfected now to kill down metabolisms. You know, when you disinfect water,
obviously, yeah.
All right. Now it's what's it called? It's chlorine. Now
Yeah.
you end up killing metabolisms in right. So
In the water.
that was done already, and to what we ate. It was being sent across all affected communities that the flood communities get disinfected. Now, right now, we also heard right now that there are what's it called? There's a budget put in place. There's been pushed down to start digging down dams, more dams. Yes, in the country, and I heard that one was allocated to Kogi in either local government, local government, and one also was allocated to Toto in Nasarawa. So that was the best I had. So to contain this, dams is just the way out. It's just the way out because when dams are being put in place, right? There's a reservoir. Now, a reservoir can carry like as much capacity of water you can imagine. Reserve alone, in the reserve basin alone, because I am a privileged chemical and engineer, so I am speaking from my discipline.
Right.
So a reserve can carry as much water quantity alone.
So this incident that have been reoccurring over the years actually could have been prevented by our government, but yes. Right.
Yes, and the sad truth about these things are like because the most affected states as it stands now is Kogi and Nasarawa state.
Oh, okay.
Kogi has Kogi has about almost 12 local governments affected. And now, if you look at Kogi, if you look at Ida is spelled IDAH. There is an abandoned dam reservoir in Ida.
Right.
Now, an allocation was given to the government to restore this dam. So there was no way this dam was in place.
Okay. Well,
14 years.
Mr. Nicholas, it's really sad situation, and we could talk about what governments could have done and what they should do from now till tomorrow, but we will not have a result of it. I think the focus at the moment we redirect to really making sure that people are safe, are staying safe at the moment and staying healthy. And I'm glad that small organizations like yours are dedicated. Really, really, I appreciate your contribution, and I hope that from here we could be able to find ways to, work together, Mr. Nicholas. Thank you so much. Blessing, do you have anything to say to Nicholas?
I think he has said everything
Exactly.
in the most amazing way possible, and I'm really grateful for organizations like his supporting people during this time.
Yes.
It's
really very good.
it's
Thank
really
you. Yeah. Yes, it's really helpful. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you, Nicholas. And then we will check out all your work and Nicholas' motives and follow up.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your call. Have a very good evening.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you. Bye. There's so much to be done, and really appreciating of contributions and the victims who spoke up. It's really important that we spoke out. It's important we contribute. It's important that we do the little that we can. Blessing, thank you once again for using your platform for this, and I think
thank you.
we can do better as Nigerians, whether we are in diaspora or you are you are in Morocco, by the way, and you made this as in you are more dedicated in as much as your grandmother was affected, but the truth is, and you could have just turned a blind eye because you can take care of your grandmother, but you kept on talking. This
Exactly.
is the little things that we can do.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a very, very good evening. We will continue this conversation some other time when we get perhaps officials. Like I always say, I don't speak politics in Women's World Show here in WWS TV, but not when it intersects with lifestyle and entertainment. And this is people's lifestyle that are being interrupted or disrupted and at the same time being affected in the most difficult way. Lives will really be affected, like we already talked about, that the aftermath of this is going to be really, really dangerous and devastating. It will leave a lot of people, hunger strike, I would say. So, but we will continue this conversation some other time with more, hopefully, more people willing to contribute and, make things happen.
Thank you. Have a good
Blessing.
evening.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye. Good evening.
Recording
Okay, thank you everyone who tuned in. This has really been very, very, I mean, again, like I said to Mr. Nicholas, we could talk about what the government could have done or what should be done from now to tomorrow, but we need action effect. And I believe, and I really am happy that organizations like his are doing what they can to make things happen rather than just talking because we need that positive effect in people's life. A lot of people's life are at stake, their lives, their activities, and their daily lifestyle. So once again, my name is Clara Chizuba Kronberg, and I will join us again soon. Remember to subscribe so that you know when we go live next time. Thank you so much, and have a very pleasant evening.